Howdy, welcome to BanjoBenClark.com. I'm your host, Banjo Ben, here on the website that teaches you each and every week how to play banjo, guitar, and mandolin. This week is Banjo Week, and we're going to learn a really fun version of Keep on the Sunny Side in the key of G. This song was made famous by the Carter family. It was later kind of rekindled and re-romanced in the Oh Brother, Where Art Thou soundtrack. If you're watching on Facebook or YouTube, here in a moment, I'll ask you to go over to the website, BanjoBenClark.com, where you can join as a Gold Pick member, have access to hundreds of video lessons and tabs. And this lesson includes a whole lot. It's about a 30-minute video lesson where I'm going to teach you how to play each and every measure that I just played. Okay, and then I've got another video segment where I play the whole thing through very slowly with the tab on the screen so that you can follow along with me. And then I've got another, oh great, this is one feature that I've recently added to my video lessons. I've got about an 8-minute video where I talk about how to play backup for this song, just give you some tips. And this one's really cool because we talk about using some passing chords over the key of D, over the chord of D in this song that makes it sound really, really good. I've also got the tab downloads there, PDF and TEF file format tabs exactly as I played it. And another feature that I've just added to the site, I've got 3 different speeds of guitar and bass rhythm tracks for you to download. They're MP3s. You can download them and you can practice along with them even when you're over at Granny's house. Okay? So let's jump into the first measure of Keep on the Sunny Side. Keep on the Sunny Side in the key of G on banjo. We're in standard tuning today. This is a really, really fun version. It's not too difficult. The main thing that we have to keep our eyes and ears on is the difference between the 16th and 18th note ornaments. What I mean by ornaments are slides, hammer-ons, and pull-offs. I'll talk about that as we go through there. Let's go ahead and throw the tab up. As always, pay attention to your right-hand pick notations beneath each one of the notes. So T would stand for thumb, 1 would stand for index finger, and 2 would stand for middle. Okay, we're going to start in measure 1, just walking up into that verse on the low D string, just some quarter notes. Open D, 2, 4. Now when we get into measure 2, we're going to start off with 2 quarter notes. The first is just a right there on the G string, then a pinch, and then we see our first ornament here, okay, our first little trick. We've got a slide. Now pay attention, beneath that slide there, you see that it has 2 little bar lines going sideways. That means that this is a 16th note slide. That means that the slide happens before we play our next 8th note. Okay, so we're going to slide from 2nd to 4th fret with our middle finger on the G string, and we're going to make that slide before we pick that next B string with our index finger. So it'll sound like this. And this is just a square roll here, so it just sounds like this. So measure 2 altogether sounds like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and measure 3 we have another 16th note ornament. This one's a pull off. We're going to pull off from 3rd fret to 2nd fret. I'm going to do it with my first 2 fingers here, and I'm going to pull off going up with my middle finger, and that's a 16th note pull off. So that means it's going to happen before we hit our B string again. So it's going to sound like this. Pull off pick. Pull off pick. Then we get out of the way, go to a partial C chord, 2nd fret, 1st fret on your B string. So measure 3 slowly sounds like this. Then measure 4, we're going to land on that low D string and then do our regular G lick here, which there's several ways to do this, but I'm going to do it with a hammer-on this time. It's a 16th note hammer-on. So let's just play measures 1 through 4 very slowly so you can hear that. Okay, and don't forget I have another video segment here on the website where I play the whole thing through from start to finish very slowly so you can follow along. When we get to measure 5, here's where we see the first variance in our ornaments, and we've got a hammer-on down there on the low D string, but you notice that it only has 1 bar line connecting it, so this is an 8th note hammer-on. It's very important that we don't rush it. So the first 2 notes of measure 5 are just G and B string, and then we go down to the low D string, play it, and then hammer to the 2nd fret, but it happens at the same speed as the rest of our 8th notes, so it sounds like this. Notice that the hammer-on doesn't happen too fast. then a pinch, then another quarter note. Now we're back to a 16th note hammer on measure 6. I'm going to do it with my middle 2 fingers. You can jump up and do it with your first 2 if you want. We're going to hammer before we hit that next D string. And then we're just going to start a forward roll here and place our finger down the 2nd fret of the 1st string. I'm going to leave that 3rd fret down. So measure 6 sounds like this. Measure 7 is another great example of when we need to pay attention, because this is also an 8th note slide. It doesn't happen too fast. We're going to start off in measure 7 playing that open D string, and then come down to our G string on the 2nd fret and slide it up to the 4th fret, but don't rush it. 1 and 2 and. Now that we're there, I like to do it with my middle finger, because now that we're there, we're going to have our ring finger available to hit that 5th fret on the G string. It's a quarter note and then a pinch. So measure 7 slowly sounds like this. And we're just getting the melody a little different way there. When we get to measure 8, we're going to play a lick that we're going to see later on. It's a D lick. The melody is just this A note here, so we've got to have something to fill up the rest of that measure. So that's a quarter note. Leave it down throughout the duration of that measure, and then we're going to use our next.